Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who want to build million-dollar businesses without sacrificing their health, relationships, or happiness, who understand that in order to build their empire, they need a solid foundation, and that the more they are thriving, the more their business is thriving too. This show brings you the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist turned mindset and high-performance coach for entrepreneurs, and I help you get wired for success. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 100 of the Wired for Success podcast. With over 90% of podcasters not making it through their first year of podcasting, I'm just so super grateful to have come this far. Today, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey and for supporting the show over the last couple of years. I wouldn't be here today without you. When I launched this show, I launched it straight into the top 10 charts in Germany and into the top 100 and top 200 charts in other countries around the world. And I thought that this was pretty damn impressive. But I tell you what, after 2 years of consistent podcasting, I think it's so much more impressive that the show is still around and that it has made it into the global top 5% of podcasts. Because let's face it, producing a podcast requires you to put in quite a bit of money, time, and effort, and you'll likely face a few challenges along the way. So if your show is still around after a couple of years, it means that you're staying on top of those challenges, you have your systems in place, and your show provides value to your audience. And reaching this milestone on my podcasting journey means a lot to me. I'm always trying to deliver great value to my listeners and a great experience to my guests. And it's so wonderful to have people reach out to me who tell me how much they enjoy the show, or have guests telling me that their interview on my show has been their favorite interview so far. In fact, I have so many amazing people applying to become a guest on my show that I can't possibly interview all of them. I now offer skip the line paid options to guests who don't want to wait for months and months until a free interview spot might open up. And this allows me to keep my show ad-free and awesome, as I like to say. And I'm deeply grateful to everyone who has chosen to support the show in this way. So what I would like to do today is just reflect on this podcasting journey and share with you what I have found helpful to make this show a success. So if you're thinking about starting your own podcast, here are 3 things that you want to consider. The first and probably most important one is to consider is to have a good reason and a mission for your show. You don't want to start your podcast because everyone else has a show and you just feel you want to start your own to keep up with the Joneses. If that's the only reason you're starting your show, you're likely going to get frustrated and quit within the first few months, because build it and they will come doesn't apply to podcasting. And if you don't already have a big and loyal audience and or a big marketing budget, you will likely get discouraged by the slow growth and low engagement. If you have a good reason and a mission for your show, on the other hand, something that is bigger than just growing your audience, then this mission is going to pull you forward. Because internal motivation trumps external motivation in the long run. And if your mission is important to you, you will stay motivated. If you only care about growing your audience, how are you going to feel when the growth is slow? You'll be frustrated and demotivated, right? So make sure you have a compelling reason to start your show. And as a high achiever who has struggled with burnout and depression and anxiety, my compelling mission for my podcast is to show other high achievers that there is another way to achieve your goals, one that does not require you to sacrifice your health, relationships, or happiness. You can learn to achieve more with ease instead of the constant struggle. You can learn to relax without losing your edge. And this is my message and my mission, and it's super important to me. So if this podcast helps just one person to live a healthier and happier life, then I have accomplished my goal and my mission. So as long as I feel that I'm staying true to that mission, I'm motivated to continue this show. So the second tip for today is have a clear concept for your show. You want to know your ideal listener and understand their goals and their pain points. So why would they listen to your show? What's in it for them? How is your show unique? What's the best format for your show? And I think it's perfectly fine to experiment and test different formats like interviews versus solo episodes or different episode lengths. But whatever you do should still make sense to your ideal listener. You don't want to confuse your audience. They need to know what to expect from you and your show. For instance, my ideal listeners are ambitious and mission-driven entrepreneurs who want to build a legacy without burning out in the process, okay? So they listen to the show because they want to hear inspiring and motivating stories from other super successful entrepreneurs, or they want to learn science-based frameworks that help them stay healthy and productive. And they also enjoy actionable tips that they can go and implement straight away. They are busy people who have a lot going on, but who still enjoy listening to honest conversations and insights from industry experts. That's why I do a lot of interview episodes with experts from different industries that can shed light on certain aspects of creating a sustainable life and business. And I love bringing in people with different backgrounds and experiences so that we can look at challenges from different angles and explore solutions to common problems. And because not every approach works equally well for everyone, that's why I love to feature diversity. You get to pick and choose what works for you. I also love to do occasional solo episodes like this one to reflect on the things that are going on in my own life and business and to share the lessons that I've learned. Those are different episode formats, but they still make sense to my ideal listener, right? The guests I invite are not random, and the format of the show is not random either. I'm not saying that your show can't evolve over time. It certainly can. For instance, I didn't do solo episodes in the beginning, and I didn't do book features in the beginning. Those are features that evolved over time, yet they still make sense to my ideal listener, and they support the mission of my show. And the last tip for today is, and this is a controversial one, is to think about monetization right from the start. You will hear a lot of people say that you should not worry about monetization and treat your podcast as a hobby for as long as possible. And I totally understand where they're coming from, but I disagree on this one. Their reasoning is that if you keep your expectations low or non-existent, you won't get disappointed and frustrated. As long as you look at it as a hobby, you'll keep doing it because it's fun and you enjoy doing it. The thing is, it doesn't have to be an either or situation. You can have fun and have a plan, right? Or you can have fun and get paid at the same time. You don't have to have everything figured out before you start your show, but you definitely want to think about how your show integrates with your business. Unless you want to start a podcast that's totally unrelated to your business and really is nothing more than a hobby. But if you want to launch your show to grow your business, you need to figure out how to integrate those two. And as I said, running a podcast costs time, money, and energy. And if you want to keep it sustainable, it helps to have a system that allows you to monetize your show early on. So those are my 3 tips for today. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? I would love to hear your thoughts and your experiences in the comments. Also, if you're thinking about starting your own podcast to become the go-to expert in your area of expertise, but you just don't know how to get started and or how to make this sustainable in the long run, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to help. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please take a sec to rate and review my show or share it with a friend. That way you can support the show and help me reach and support other entrepreneurs like yourself as well. If you would like my help to figure out how you can go from overwhelmed and overworked hustler to empowered and confident leader, check out my website at www.wiredforsuccess.solutions and book a free 20-minute strategy session with me. Can't wait to help you get wired for success. Until next time, take care. Bye.